What's going on? What's going on? Y'all ain't figured it out yet? Y'all get come on, what's that? Y'all gotta, get your drink. Come on, get it. You never want to have your presenters waiting on y'all when y'all know it's the time you're supposed to be there. It's the same thing when you got to be on the job site and be ready and stay ready, right? Same thing. All right? But y'all did good today. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all did 100, y'all did maybe 55 squats and 30 push-ups. But that's right. Now, y'all did good. I know it's a change. And Debbie, oh man. So listen. It's always good to keep good ties, good friendships, good relationships when you build those things, right? Especially when you're growing up. In the street life and all that. This man, I knew him when he was growing up, played football, through the youth authority, through back out here, right? And when I graduated from Rising Sun, I got a phone call. I was in a halfway house. He's like, man, you home? Like, yeah. He said, where you working at? I said, I'm working in Frisco. You know, I'm doing traffic control. He said, I might got something else for you. I'm like, what you doing? You know, you never know what the next person is doing, especially if they was living the same life that you were living. He said, man, I'm part of this organization out here in San Francisco, this company. He said, give me your phone number, give me your information. I gave it to him. I received a phone call the next morning. I said, man, come on out here to San Francisco and check out this organization, see if you like it. I walked in there with a Rising Sun shirt on and everything. Right? No, excuse me. I walked up in there with my regular clothes on because I had already graduated from Rising Sun. And a guy named was Sal Bravo. And he said, hey, you know Tito? Like, yeah. I'm like, all right. Had everything laid out for me, sign these papers. I'm signing papers. Introduction. Next thing you know, I say, give me your ID. You got this, you got that? He said, okay, you're gonna start real soon. I'm like, start where? He said, at the Chase Center. Right. Do it free. He gonna tell the rest. Welcome, Greg.
How you guys doing? My name is Gregory Sadler. I'm with Eco-Based Services. They call me Tito. Grew up in Richmond. Started off as a laborer with Local 324. You know, it's tough being a laborer, going out there. You gotta be dedicated. You have to be a team player. You gotta wanna do what they tell you to do out there. It's gonna be some rough times where you're not gonna wanna do what they tell you to do. It's cliquish out there. You have to be able to avoid all that. And I say that to say, you know, just stay ready. This guy was ready when I made the phone call. He was ready to go. I don't know if he had a car to get to work, but he made a way to get there. So he got there and got on at the Chase Center and was there for, was it a year? Or
Almost 2.
Almost 2 years. And they made a bunch of money on that project. So he was ready.
And they started prevailing wages.
They was over 30-something bucks an hour. These guys was taking home almost $2,000-$3,000 a week. A week. But that was a project, and that's when you're ready and you get an opportunity, you gotta take advantage of it. So he was ready, and I see you guys are getting ready. So make sure you take advantage of this course, this pre-apprenticeship course, to be ready to be apprentices, laborers, journey persons, managers, whatever. All right, so let me go back a little bit again. So I started off as a laborer, switched over to abatement in San Francisco. My buddy had been trying to get me over for quite some time. I was working with Over Construction through the labor union. And I was telling him no, I was making good money. So I finally, he said, come on, man. And I went over there, worked with him. Started off as a superintendent with him. Never had no superintendent experience. But I learned it and moved up to an estimator and project manager. So now my title over there now is project manager. So I run projects. I go out and bid the projects, see what type of labor it's gonna take to get it done. We look out to hire you to come and work for our companies. And one of the things you gotta have is a good attitude. You gotta have a good attitude. to come over this. It's not always easy. It's definitely not. It's a lot of hard work, but you got to be willing to learn. Don't go in there thinking you know everything. Come in prepared, ready to work, put your work clothes on. You can't have sweats on, you can't have tennis shoes on. I got tennis shoes on now, but I got my boots in the car. So you got to have all your work attire ready to do what they need to do. Be there on time, ask questions if you don't know, and you know, it's there for you. It's definitely there. Do you guys have any questions for me?
What company do you work with?
Eco Bay. We do demolition and abatement. That means we tear down stuff and we remove hazardous materials, lead, asbestos, PCBs, universal waste, like light bulbs and stuff in these houses. You can't just take them out and throw them away. You have to dispose of them a certain way. The money, that was the easiest thing. Went through some challenges coming up, got in some trouble, went to the youth authority, spent a few years in there, and got back and said, man, this street life ain't for me right now. Let me try something different. So I was a laborer for, I want to say 10 to 12 years, but as I was working, I was learning. I asked questions on every job. They had blueprints on jobs that had nothing to do with me. I asked the superintendent, hey, can I take these home with me and look at them so I can understand what we're doing out here? So I took them home and learned them and didn't know I was preparing myself for the opportunity I got with this company. So this company is a great opportunity and they provide help for everybody. Go ahead.
What are the wages looking like right after that?
The company I work for, the starting wage is $35 an hour.
Ooh.
That's for, in asbestos and asbestos abatement, there's no apprentices. So you start off as you go straight to work. You have to pass the class. You have to go through, this is through Local 67, which is a asbestos worker union. But you have to take a week class. You got to commit to that, and you got to come to work, and you got to perform. There's a shortage of workers out there. There's definitely a shortage of workers out there, and you guys are taking the first step to getting ready,
How did you become a laborer?
Again, I had got fresh out of California Youth Authority, and that was the only organization that was willing to just accept me. I went through a training called CTE in Oakland. This was way back in the day. You guys probably don't remember that, but it was a training program, and I took the skills, it's similar to this, took the skills I learned from that and went over to the laborers union and was able to pass their test. I was able to jump past the apprenticeship program, but I had a lot of experience. So, you start off as an apprentice. Apprentices are more employable than journeymen. The wages are less, so they're teaching you guys. If I got to pay this journeyman $1,000 a day to be on a job, and I got to pay this apprentice $700, I don't want to have 10 journeymen on the job. You know what I mean? You want to make a good ratio. So, and they're supposed to be teaching you guys to learn the system to get up there. So you'll make less money, but you'll be employed. Anybody else? Yeah.
What does it take to get hired? Or do you do hiring?
So when they have programs or projects, like say Samuel Merritt got a project, it's a big project. There's requirements that they hire so many people from this area. So you have to pass, I guess, this pre-apprenticeship program and then go and join a union and they pull from the union. Now they may pull straight from this program. I don't know how it's set up out here, but out there, there's similar programs. I work in San Francisco. So
How were you able to get hired like that?
we grew up together. We were in youth authority together. So we got history. We've been knowing each other since we were super young. I can't tell you how old I am, but pretty old.
Would
So,
you be able to get anybody in this class in like that?
At that time, the Chase Stadium was going on. They needed people. You never know when a project is going to need people, but we don't want to need people and not have nobody. So you guys want to always stay ready because they may make that phone call tomorrow. You
works
got
with
people on the
Eco
bridge right now shutting it down. You don't know what's gonna happen in San Francisco. They may need 30 people.
disposing
I don't know if you guys can go
of
straight from the
excess
program
waste.
right now. You have to complete it, but you have to be ready for whenever that opportunity presents itself.
Is there any projects open right now? Last question, sorry.
I think in Oakland, there's projects open. San Francisco, we just completed